Obviously, as you can see, quarantine has finally hit my hair and my face. But you know what? We're all in this together. We're moving forward. We're moving forward. Hey, Brian Miller here, and thanks so much for tuning in to this week's episode of Thursday Thoughts, all about the premium experience and being a premium customer. With air travel down an impossible to imagine 96% and no end in sight, leadership at each airline is grappling with two pressing questions. When will it be safe to travel again? And what will make passengers feel safe while traveling? No one knows the answer to the former, so most airlines are focusing on the latter. And while many airlines have gone in the obvious direction of lowering prices to try to bring back as many customers as quickly as possible, Delta has pivoted the other way. And in this video, I'd like to explore price and its relation to storytelling within marketing. So let's start by talking about premium experiences. Ed Bastian, Delta's CEO, made this statement in April 2020. We're going to spend the time in these next few months as we build the company we want for the future, not necessarily rebuild what we had. That's going to be an opportunity for us to focus on a more premium experience. I learned about this via thepointsguy.com, which is a blog I've been following forever as a frequent flyer, in a post on their Facebook page. So, of course, I immediately scrolled down to the comments, right? You do that, I do that. And sure enough, there was an outcry. Quotes like, "Premium experience means premium prices," and "Get ready for price hikes," and "Delta is already too expensive. I guess they won't be getting my business." That can't be the response Ed Bastian was hoping for, right? So let's talk about what exactly premium means. Marketing is storytelling. Not once upon a time, but the process of weaving a compelling narrative to the right person and in the right moment. And if you're a fan of Seth Godin, you can hear his language in what I'm saying right now. Seth so eloquently points out, fancy feast gourmet cat food is not for cats, but it's for people, right? You have no idea if super expensive cat food is better or worse than the bargain brand because you're not the one eating it. But the story that Fancy Feast tells in their marketing is designed for people who pride themselves on pampering their pets. If you're the kind of person who treats pets as kids or puts your pet's needs above your own, you're probably willing to pay a premium price to feel like the world's greatest cat owner. And there's nothing wrong with that. The point is, pricing is a component of marketing. It's not the only component, but it's a pretty big one, right? If I quote you $100 for my magic show and the next magician quotes you $1,000 for her show, you are absolutely going to have a different opinion about the two of us, just based on price alone. You'll ask yourself the question, why is this magician 10 times the price of that magician? And forcing you to ask that question is, in and of itself, marketing. Whether you can afford or are willing to pay for the more expensive magician depends on a host of other factors, and that's the topic of maybe a different video about attracting the right audience. But the crucial insight here is that pricing influences perception, and that's precisely what Ed Bastian is counting on. Delta was already the most expensive domestic airline in America. His strategy, it seems, is then to lean into that as a differentiating factor. By removing the middle seat on every flight and reducing overall capacity, Delta will have to make up the lost income somewhere. But instead of slashing services or firing employees to find that money, like most airlines are going to do, he is almost definitely going to increase the price per seat and justify it by telling the right story to the right person. And that story is expensive, but worth it. And here's the real point. Premium experiences attract premium customers. Business is hard, no matter how you slice it. It's hard to be a multi-million-dollar corporation, and it's hard to be a $50,000 a year freelancer. One thing we can all agree on, though, is it's easier to sell to someone who can afford your asking price. Right? No matter how hard the Aston Martin salesman works, how good the car is, or how convincingly she weaves a story, I'm not going to buy an Aston Martin. I'm just not. If Aston Martin actually somehow got me on their lot, they would exert so much effort dealing with my countless objections to even have a conversation about a car I was never in a position to buy. I would be a nightmare customer because an Aston Martin is a premium experience that I'm not interested in. And so for Aston Martin, I'm not a premium customer. If anything, I'm a nuisance, a distraction, a complete waste of time. But imagine Aston Martin got Daniel Craig on the lot. This is a man worth $130 million who has played James Bond on the big screen for 15 years. Not only can he afford an Aston Martin, but he's exactly the sort of person who desires that premium experience. And that makes him a premium customer. Daniel Craig would probably be an absolute joy to work with during the sales process. He's not inhibited by price, and so his objections become preferences. The salesperson will still have to work hard to earn his business, of course, but the process of trying to come up with precisely the right package to over-delight Mr. Craig would be exhilarating. Premium customers inspire businesses to do better work. And the easiest way to attract premium customers is to offer a premium service. Aston Martin doesn't care that I don't want to buy one of their cars. Delta doesn't care that they're about to lose a portion of their previous customer base by raising prices in conjunction with a more premium experience. And they shouldn't. I've been a loyal customer of Delta for a long time. Whether you like them or not is irrelevant here. But when air travel becomes a regular part of my life again, I'm gonna have to weigh their new pricing against my interests as a frequent flyer. Maybe I'll decide their new premium experience is worth the price, and Delta will be thrilled to continue doing business with me. Someone who fits their story and appreciates the value. Or maybe I'll decide I don't need the new frills and I'm therefore unwilling to pay significantly higher airline fees than I used to. In which case, Delta will gladly send me to a different airline offering a price and service more in line with my interests. What would be foolish is for Delta to try to convince me to pay higher prices for a service I'm not interested in. And it would be foolish for previous Delta customers to complain about paying higher prices for a service they aren't interested in. Ed Bastian is, in my estimation, making the only smart move for his brand and the journey he wants to take his customers on, even if I end up needing to find a new airline after all these years. Well, that's it for this week's episode of Thursday Thoughts, but before you go, I have a phenomenal free offer for some of you out there, and if not you, someone that you probably know. It's a 4-week accountability program for this year's college grads or incoming seniors, the class of 2021 that'll graduate a year from now. This program is called Greatness Upon Graduating, and it is free. No catch, no upsell, no course at the end, no pitch, period. So my little sister graduated from college last week, alone, during quarantine, via a virtual ceremony on our computer. Such is the case for an entire generation of students for whom this strange year will shape their entire lives. Internships were canceled, job offers were rescinded. But it needn't be all doom and gloom, for within every obstacle lies an opportunity. Most 2020 college graduates are understandably depressed, anxious, and scared about the uncertain job market. But a select few have already realized they can choose to go in the other direction and stand out among their entire graduating class. This is a chance to be a premium job candidate during a time when excellence is the only way forward. And I'd like to help those students for free. So this June 2020, starting very, very soon in just a week or two, I'll be leading a group of no more than 20 current grads and incoming seniors nationwide on a 4-week accountability journey. On this 4-week journey, they'll discover their true value in the marketplace, they'll develop self-confidence as an individual, and start to build a network of trusted peers. Each member gets 4 group video sessions led by me, 1 30-minute one-on-one private coaching session with me directly. You get to save all the sessions for future reference and access to a private Facebook group for sharing resources and continued development, plus a cohort for life. Can you think of at least one 2020 graduate or incoming college senior, class of 2021, who would be a perfect fit for this program? Send them to brianmillerspeaks.com/greatness upon graduating. It's on the screen right here, link in the description. Again, this is free. No upsell, no course at the end, no pitch at any time. This is just my way of giving back to a generation who is collectively facing a scarier and more unpredictable future than any other time in modern history. So again, the link's on the screen, it's in the description. It is free to apply, free to attend. The application is a little bit more extensive than you may expect for a free program because I'm only accepting 20 students nationwide, and I wanna make sure that those 20 students are fully motivated, committed, and engaged, because the group is much less about me and much more about you, the others. All of us are smarter than any of us. All of us are stronger than any of us. I can't wait to help you or someone you know who is in this incredibly difficult situation of being a 2020 or 2021 college graduate in the midst of unsurmountable uncertainty. Except it isn't unsurmountable. We can surmount it, and we'll do it together. Thanks so much. My name is Brian Miller, and always remember, our world is a shared experience. Every interaction is meaningful, and every person you meet, even virtually, is important. We'll see you soon. Not once upon a time, but the process of weaving a compelling narrative to the right person at the right moment. Not once upon a time, but the process of weaving a compelling narrative to the right... Not once upon a time, but storytelling is the process of weaving a compelling narrative to the right Daniel Craig would probably be an absolute joy to work with during the sales process, right? He's not inhibited by price, and so his objections will become preferences. God, I said half of those words wrong.